Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookie Monsters. My name is PK and today is Tuesday, March 12th. And on Tuesdays, we look at mysteries and thrillers. Every day of the week, we look at the new releases that are being set into the wild, a different genre every single day. So Mondays we look at cozy mysteries, Tuesdays like today we look at mysteries and thrillers, Wednesdays we look at romances, Thursdays we look at fantasy and science fiction, Fridays are free form. It's usually more cozies because there's always a lot, or just whatever catches my attention. And then quick announcements. Today, Tuesday, we have sprints tonight at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. And I usually start a little bit early because traffic with the better weather goes in my favor. So I'm able to get home sooner, walk Keo sooner, get started sooner. So I do them every Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday afternoons. Let's check in. Good morning, Kim. How are you doing? Baseball game at 6 tonight may or may not make sprint. Okay. And follow up eye exam at 2 today to find out about cataract surgery. All right. Fingers crossed. It will go okay either way. All right, let's jump in. Let me get rid of this. Go over here. Closing down tabs as we go here. All right. Watch Where They Hide. Jordan Manning, series number 2 by Tamron Hall. After dropping her child off at school, Marla Hancock, a stay-at-home mother, disappears. She had recently left her verbally abusive husband in rural Indiana and moved in with her sister Shelley, who simply can't believe that her sister would ever willingly vanish without her children. But with limited support from the town's police department or media resources, Shelley fears that Marla's disappearance won't get the attention it deserves, or worse, will go unsolved. So, several weeks after filing a missing persons report, she reaches out to TV journalist Jordan Manning for help. After investigative and reporting skills help solve multiple murders, Jordan Manning's career in the newsroom is on the rise. She has gained a reputation as more than your typical news reporter, a fixer with a vigilante edge, dogged and undeterred to seek the truth. But even with this new status, Jordan still feels pressure to prove herself as a young black professional. When Shelley reaches out, she feels compelled to do all she can to find Marla. Jordan's search twists and turns in ways she could never have imagined, illuminating scandals and secrets that place her own life in grave danger. 2054 by Elliot Ackerman and Admiral James Stavridis. Speculative fiction. Maybe we'll save this for Thursday because we're always kind of scrambling for Thursday. Still see you everywhere. Good morning, Cinda. How are you doing? Welcome. You're looking at mysteries and thrillers on the loose this week. Today, as we speak. This is by Lisa Gardner, third in the Frankie Elkin series. Frankie Elkin is an expert at finding the missing persons that the rest of the world has forgotten, but even she couldn't have anticipated this latest request to locate the long-lost sister of a female serial killer facing execution in 3 weeks' time. She has called herself Death, but people call her the Devil. The case was sensational. Kaylee Pearson had confessed from the very beginning, waived all appeals. Despite the media's chronicling her tragic circumstances, the childhood spent with a violent father, no one could find sympathy for the beautiful butcher who had led 18 men home from bars before viciously slitting their throats. Now, with only 21 days left to live, Pearson has finally received a lead on the whereabouts of the sister who was kidnapped over a decade ago, and she needs Frankie's help to find her, the beautiful butcher's offer. When was the last time your search ended with finding the living? Unable to resist the chance for a rescue, Frankie takes on Pearson's request. 12 years ago, 5-year-old Leilani went missing in Hawaii. The main suspect, Pearson's tech mogul ex boyfriend, Sanders McManus. Now on a remote island in the middle of the Pacific, the site of McManus's latest vanity project, fresh evidence has appeared. In order to learn the truth and possibly save a young woman's life, Frankie must go undercover at the isolated base camp. Her challenge, a dozen strangers, countless dangerous secrets. Whoops, zero means of calling for help. And when the storm rolls in, dot dot dot, because there's always a storm on an isolated island. Black Wolf, a novel by Juan Gomez Jurado, second in the Antonia Scott series. This is a sequel to Red Queen. Antonia Scott has an unusually gifted mind, able to see what others miss, able to solve the crimes that baffle all others. The only thing she fears is herself. Antonia is the linchpin of the Red Queen Project, created to work behind the scenes to solve the most devious and dangerous crimes. But she is unwilling to move past the last case, convinced it's related to a personal tragedy, until a series of deadly events pulls her back in. In southern Spain, in the Costa del Sol, a key mafia figure is found brutally murdered in his villa. His pregnant wife, Lola Moreno, barely escapes an attempt to kill her in a shopping mall and is on the run. A shipping container from St. Petersburg arrives in port in Spain containing the corpses of 9 women, all who suffocated. Now Antonia, with the help of her helper and protector, John Gutierrez, must track down this missing Lola. But they aren't the only ones on Lola's trail. A dangerous contract killer known as the Black Wolf is also on her trail. And Antonia Scott, still plagued by her personal demons, must outwit, outmaneuver, and ultimately face this terrible and mysterious rival. And on the lighter side, a new Molly Murphy by Reese Bowen and Claire Broyles. New York, 1908. The days are getting longer and warmer in Manhattan. This is what, 20th in series. Molly Murphy Sullivan doesn't want to leave her home in the city, but typhoid is back and she's expecting. So she heads north with the children to summer with her mother-in-law in Westchester County. Molly tells herself it won't be so bad. After all, the countryside is pretty, and she's determined to make the best of it, even if she's leaving her husband Daniel behind. And at least she's not the only one heading north. Her great friends Sid and Gus are headed to the Catskills to visit Sid's family. Though her mother-in-law is a surprisingly excellent host, Molly quickly grows bored, and when Sid and Gus invite her to visit, Molly jumps at the chance to stay with them at an artist community. What a pleasant time they'll have so far from the city, although Sid isn't so enthusiastic about having to visit her family in the nearby Jewish bungalow community. But deep in the Catskills, tensions are running high, and it's not long before a body delays Molly's return to Westchester. And this is my pick of the week. Very excited. I love Molly Murphy. So does my mom. I read the first few many, many, many years ago and then fell away as I do. Um, but I got that one for my mom because she shares my account. But I need to get back to it. I really, really, really do. And I'll probably have to start over. So there's 20 books to read. Yay. But definitely I will be reading this probably next month because I just finished book 8. This is ninth in the Veronica Speedwell mysteries. I recommend this author if you have not tried historical mysteries before. Great character, great interactions. Love, love, love this series. This is by Deanna Rayburn. Lord Rosemoran has purchased a wax figure of a beautiful reclining woman and asked Stoker to incorporate a clockwork mechanism to give the Rosemoran collection its own sleeping beauty in the style of Madame Tussauds. But when Stoker goes to cut the mannequin open to insert the mechanism, he makes a gruesome discovery. This is no wax figure. I knew it was going there. The mannequin is the beautifully preserved body of a young woman who was once very much alive, but who would do such a dreadful thing and why? Sleuthing out the answer to this question sets Veronica and Stoker on their wildest adventure yet. From the underground laboratories of scientists experimenting with electricity to resurrect the dead in the vein of Frankenstein, to the traveling show, or Frankenstein, if you're, okay, you have to be a different generation, where Stoker once toured as an attraction. The gaslit atmosphere of London in October is the perfect setting for this investigation into the unknown. Through it all, the intrepid pair is always one step behind the latest villain, a man who has killed once and will stop at nothing to recover the body of the woman he loved. Will they unmask him in time to save his next victim, or will they become the latest figures to be immortalized in his collection of horrors? I don't know if I should share that. I have been traumatized by that concept ever since the 70s when Kiss, yes, the rock band, made a very bad movie with that kind of concept. It was a bad movie, but it's just an icky concept. But yes, I will read that. I will read it next month. The Classified Dossier, Sherlock Holmes and Dorian Gray by Christian Clavier. Third in this series. Mysterious socialite Dorian Gray is at the center of Sherlock Holmes' latest investigation, etc., etc. 1903. Sherlock Holmes and Dr. John Watson have tickets to the newly arrived Circus of Amun-Ra. Holmes is puzzled by his brother Mycroft's cryptic gift, but is intrigued enough to attend the next production. The performers, dressed as wondrous half-animal, half-human gods from Egyptian mythology, display superhuman agility and stunts. But they speak no Arabic, sequester themselves in the stables after each show, and take orders from a mysterious ringmaster who is yet to be seen. And then one of the performers is murdered. Holmes in Holmes's inquiries lead him to a townhouse near Grosvenor Square, the home of the beautiful and secretive socialite Dorian Gray. As Holmes digs deeper, he learns Gray is hiding much more than his involvement in a murder in a darkly fantastical tale of lies, experimentation, hypnosis, and wicked ambition. State of Time, Virgil Jones Mystery Thriller Series number 20 by Thomas Scott. Virgil's father, Mason Jones, has always tried to install two important messages to his son. One is that everything is connected, and the other, time isn't real. During the course of his career as lead detective with the Major Crimes Unit, Virgil has come to have a basic understanding of the first lesson, though it hasn't always been easy. Now, in State of Time, he's about to discover the second message from his father is more real and frightening than anything he's ever encountered. And that's it. If at first you don't deceive by Elliot York. Kill him, kill myself, vanish into thin air. Those were my options. I tried the first two and failed miserably. Everly Sutton thinks she's finally found the happiness she's chased for so many years. Colton West is handsome, successful, and charming, everything she hoped for in a man. When he proposes after mere months, she says yes without hesitation. It isn't long after the vows are exchanged that Everly realizes she's made the worst mistake of her life. It's hard to outrun a secret when it follows you around like a dark shadow. Desperation and fear force Everly to disappear from her old life for good. She finds refuge on remote Windborne Island. She's convinced she's freed herself from her nightmare marriage until reminders of a secret that she once divulged to Colton in a vulnerable moment, come back to haunt her. Everly was sure she'd escape the man for good, but soon she finds evil is especially wicked when it comes from the heart. For fans of Frida McFadden and Mary Stone. Such a Lovely Family by Aggie Bloom Thompson. The cherry blossoms are in full bloom in Washington, D.C., and the Calhouns are in the midst of hosting their annual party to celebrate the best of the spring season. With a house full of guests, neighbors, and their beloved three adult children, the Calhouns are expecting another picture perfect event. But a brutal murder in the middle of the celebration transforms the yearly gathering into a homicide scene, and all the guests are suspects. Behind their facade of perfection, the Calhoun family has been keeping some very dark secrets. Parents who use money and emotional manipulation to control their children. Two sons, one the black sheep who is desperate to outrun mistakes he's made, and the other a new father willing to risk everything to protect his child. And a daughter, an Instagram influencer who refuses to face the truth about the man she married. As the investigation heats up, family tensions build and alliances shift. Long buried resentments surface, forcing the Calhouns to face their darkest secrets before it's too late. Very seasonal if you're looking for a seasonal thriller, domestic thrillerish. Dark Dive, a thriller. Underwater Investigation Unit number 5 by Andrew Main. Searching for a missing diver takes Florida detective on a deep diving adventure in a gripping thriller, blah, blah, blah. After the Underwater Investigation Unit's disbandment, public outcry ushers Sloane McPherson and her partner, former Navy diver Scott Hughes, back into the depths of crime solving. But Sloane's return comes with a personal case. Longtime family friend Fred Stafford has disappeared. Left behind, his abandoned truck in the vicinity of an unmarked sinkhole, and new findings that have Sloane second guessing everything she thought she knew about the man. There are his gambling debts, his association with a treasure hunting band of underwater cavern junkies called the Dive Rats, and most alarming of all, a discovery in Stafford's storage shed that raises the stakes even higher and plunges Sloane into an unfathomable mystery. As Sloane's investigation unfolds, a tragic Florida cold case, local superstitions, and a shocking conspiracy collide. For Sloane, finding Stafford and uncovering the buried secrets of the past soon drag her deeper into the dark unknown than she feared. Good afternoon, Helen. How you doing? Thank you for watching. We are looking at the mysteries and thrillers being released this week. A different genre every day. This is Kill Switch, Devil's Night number 3 by Penelope Douglas. One woman's worst fears come to life, etc. Sending Damon to prison was the worst thing Winter could have done. It didn't matter that he did the crime or that she wished he was dead. Winter thought he'd cool off in jail and be anything but the horror he was, or that at the very least she'd have time to disappear before he got out. But she was wrong. 3 years came and went too fast, and prison only gave him time to plan. And while Winter anticipated his vengeance, she didn't expect this. He doesn't want to make her hurt. He wants to make everything hurt. Damon knows he needs to get rid of Winter's father, giving her, her sister, and her mother nowhere to run. The Ashby women are desperate for a knight in shining armor, but that's not what's coming. It's time Damon took control of his future. It's time he showed them all that he will never stop being the nightmare they think he is. Damon won't have to break into her home to do it. As the new man of the house, he has all the keys. A little strangely, for a lot of words, cryptic. Okay, there's a cover. Little Underworld by Chris Harding Thornton. Omaha, 1930. When ex-cop turned PI Jim Bealey murders the man who assaulted his 14-year-old daughter, the last person he wants to see is a local crooked cop, Frank Tverdick. Luckily, Frank isn't interested in the lifeless body in Jim's car. Frank has a proposition. He'll make the dead man disappear if Jim helps take down Elmer Cobb, who is vying for city commissioner and willing to backstab anyone who gets in his way. Soon, Jim and Frank are sucked into a seedy world of crime and corruption where no one is safe and nothing is what it seems. Then Jim is violently attacked, and one of his operatives turns up dead within a span of 12 hours, and his search for the truth yields a web of lies and a mounting death toll. As he and Frank are pulled deeper into the city's dark underbelly, and its absurd political machinations, Jim begins to question everything he knows about Omaha and his place in it. As you should. Stilettos in the Sand, a Lily List mystery exclusive by C.L. Bauer. There are 3 books in this series. After a romantic island getaway with her favorite detective, Kansas City elite event planner Gretchen Malloy has fallen in love. With sand still in her heels, Gretchen is scared. Not only is she unsure if the handsome and younger Daniel Williams and she can make this relationship work, she is worried about a precious elderly friend who is under threat. Mrs. Knott is rich and a pillar of the community. She believes only Gretchen can help her out of the pickle she's in, and someone is trying to kill her. With Gretchen on the trail, the suspects pile up. Is someone after the old woman's money, jewels, or the house itself? Is there buried treasure, or has her family's past crept in to steal Mrs. Knott's joy in her last years? To counter the mayhem, the amateur sleuth turns to her only female friend for reinforcement and the stakeout of their lives. But what will Daniel say? From the moment they met and he arrested the 50-something stiletto diva for murder, Detective Williams realizes Gretchen could use those heels for good or evil. Always a little of both. It will be a race to save her from danger. Dot, 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 dot. And our last one, and just in time, The Mermaid Murder, a Brown and DeLuca novel by Maggie Shane, 4th in series. Hey, I'm Rachel DeLuca, a self-help guru with a potty mouth and a penchant for crime solving. My partner, soon-to-be husband, if I can get over my paralyzing fear, is Mason Brown, a detective with the Binghamton PD. 10 years ago, professional mermaid Eva Quaid disappeared without, how do you be a professional mermaid? Without a trace from the Sapphire Club. Now, my niece Misty is working at the same club doing the same job. Coincidentally, not. Misty's college roommate is in the thick of her self-produced true crime podcast about the same cold case. Misty has kept every bit of this from our way too close for privacy family. None of this would be a big deal except that I've been having nightmares. It's my wedding day, and I look from my adoring groom to my twin nieces face down in the shallows of the reservoir behind the altar. I dreamt too of a dying mermaid who's been trying to get my attention ever since. When my sister Sandra says she's worried about about twin daughters Mason, and I agreed to do a little snooping, only to find Misty has been keeping some big secrets, and it's not where she's supposed to be. Nobody knows where she is. I'm pretty sure that Misty's gone off the grid with her podcasting partner Zig to survey their favorite suspects in the 10-year-old case of the missing mermaid. I'm even more sure the mermaid is dead and that her killers determined to keep their oldest, deadliest secret, even if it means taking another young woman's life. I have to find my beloved niece before my visions come true the way they always do. Okay, that was it. Woo, we made it. Couple good ones in there. Have a great day, everybody. You too, Kim. Good luck on your appointment. All righty. So, um, thank you guys so much. Those are the new releases in mystery and thrillers this week. Probably not comprehensive, but the ones we could look at. We do have sprints tonight at 6:05 Mountain Time, 8:05 Eastern. They'll go for 2.5 hours. I will probably be able to start a little bit early, so make sure you have the notification bell, although YouTube is not so great about that, but it will help. Hope you have a very good Tuesday. Be safe, be happy. These are choices as much as possible. Read good things, and as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom, nom, nom. Have a good day and God bless.